Broadcasting live from the Meridics via OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we now turn to Game 2 of our tripleheader tonight. Centennial taking on Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon. Sorry about starting the pregame show late, but we had a delay late in the Nolensville Station Camp game when a pane of glass got knocked loose and had to be put back in place. So this game going to start, this broadcast and this game starting a few minutes later than it should have. Big game for both sides, especially Centennial, who come in with 2 losses and a draw. Mount Juliet only have 1 game in the books, a draw with Franklin a couple weeks ago. But for Centennial, this feels like a must-win situation, especially with Robbie Simonik serving the second of his 2-game suspension for joining in an altercation in the Preds Cup final, if necessary, game way back in February. All right, let's talk about the 2 teams playing this game. First up, Centennial. We've already covered them, so we don't need to do any fancy talking about them. They have played 3 games, their first 3 games, a 3-3 tie with Franklin BGA back on September 28th. 2 weeks ago tonight, they lost 3-2 to Brentwood and then lost 9-2 or 9-3 to Ravenwood. Centennial playing their last 4 games in Phase 1 over these next 10 days. Tonight against Mount Juliet, Wednesday against Pope Prep, next Monday against Independence, a game they should win, and then next Wednesday, the 26th, against MBA, and then they are done with Phase 1, and if they don't end up in that round robin to potentially switch tiers, they will not play again until after Thanksgiving. Alex Ezeminius, Centennial's leading scorer with 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Aiden Kinect with 2 points from goals. Jack Finn, Calvin Zacharias, each with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Brendan Mitchell with 2 points from assist. Aiden Gardner, Cooper Davis, Will Lassiter, each with a point from a goal. And Owen Boyer, Dylan Bruton, Brady Diamond, and Blake Kinect all have a point from an assist. On to goalie play, and the goalie stats are not correct. They have Andrew Stratton playing in 2 full games. That is not the case. He started the Ravenwood game and then was replaced late by Alex Beck. Let me just pull up the results page here. Stratton started the Brentwood game, played the full 42 minutes. They lost. Beck started the game against Franklin, played the full 42 minutes. They tied, so his record's 0-1. Stratton's record is 0-2 because he started that Ravenwood game, and at no point did Centennial ever take the lead in it. They trailed the entire time, but he did not play the full season. They have him listed, even though he was replaced twice. Even though he was replaced, I think with the last, I think they had him replaced with just over 7 minutes to go. 6 minutes, somewhere along in there. This website's going to, I'm going to need an ad blocker for this stupid website. Stratton did indeed give up 7 goals, but Beck gave up the last 2 to Ravenwood in that game. So, yeah, the goalie stats are not correct. Anyway, let's move on to Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon. This is the first time we've seen them this season, so we're going to have to discuss all the changes that have gone on in the offseason. Again, they were runners-up to Ravenwood in the Preds Cup final back in February. This slow website's going to drive me insane. Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon's top 4 scorers from last season are no longer on the team. 3 of them graduated. Joey Simonik, the leading scorer. Nick Radici, the second leading scorer. Anthony Pabinetti, the 4th leading scorer. The 3rd leading scorer, Easton Krensky, is foregoing his senior year of hockey to focus on baseball because he is considered one of the best outfielders in the entire state. And I can't blame him for not wanting to risk a potential D1 scholarship. Kyle Alsaker, the 5th leading scorer, is back, but he is serving the second of a 6-game suspension tonight. Let me pull up the suspensions page here. He got a 6-game penalty. He got a 6-game suspension, a match penalty for spearing a fan. He speared a Ravenwood fan in an altercation during that Preds Cup final if necessary game. So he's out until their last game in Phase 1, where they could be having to fight to keep their place in the tier and a place in the Predators Cup. Let me pull out the rosters here. Coming back for Mount Juliet, aside from Kyle Alsaker, even though he's forcefully benched at the moment. They also graduated Michael Dillard, their top goalie. Riley Littleton graduated. Some of these players didn't come back, besides Easton Krensky, who again is foregoing his senior year to focus on baseball. Ashton Perry opted not to come back for his last year. So, notables back for this year from last year include Ryan Woods, Braylon Cox, Blake Bristow, whom I thought was a senior last year. Turns out he's a senior this year. Wes Ray, Brant Balls, Bobby Camos, Robbie Simonik back for his senior year, but again, he is serving a 2-game suspension. He's serving the second of a 2-game suspension tonight for joining in an altercation in that Preds Cup final if necessary game. Tyler Dubois is back, Carson Slocum, Presley Denton. But they've replaced their head coach, Dylan Caffrey. I guess his job has forced him to step into an assistant's role because Ray Balls is now the head coach, Brant's dad. So Mount Juliet has played 1 game so far. That was 2 weeks ago tonight, an 8-8 tie with Franklin BGA, where they had to come from behind to beat. Not to come from behind to split the points with the Admirals. So after 1 game, they have 2 leading scorers. Braylon Cox and Jordan Antar each have 4 points from 3 goals and an assist. Wes Ray with 2 points from assists. Neelan Head, Parker Triplett each with a point from a goal. And Anthony Giampalo, Tyler Dubois, and Blake Bristow each have a point from an assist. And they had 2 goalies in the game. Corbin Vickery and Brant both shown as having been given the tie, but that's not possible. Whoever was in goal when Mount Juliet scored the game-tying goal with 13 seconds left, that's who should have gotten the draw. I'm guessing it was Vickery Corbin who was in goal when they tied the game with 13 seconds left, and it finished that way. So he should get the draw. Playing nearly 23 minutes, goals against average of 3.68, no shutouts. Well, obviously they've only played 1 game. Allowing 2 goals on 13 shots and turning away the other 11. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .850. So Brent Balls looks like he started the game. Reading his stats, he should have no decision. His record should be 0-0-0. Playing just over 19 minutes, goals against average of 13.13. 6 goals allowed on 21 shots, turning away the other 15. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .710. Forgot to note Connor McKenzie, head coach of Centennial now, replacing Seth Lake, whom Centennial shockingly decided to replace during the offseason. Okay, we still have no result yet on Father Ryan Summit page. Again, this game starting a little bit later than it should have because late in the third period, with just over 2 minutes left in the Nolensville Station Camp game, there was a hit in the corner to my right, and it knocked a pane of glass loose, and they had to take a few minutes to put it back in place. Safely, obviously. So this is a big opportunity for Centennial, facing a mostly young Mount Juliet team who are missing their top goaltender. Big opportunity for Centennial to get a win because they should be favorites against Pope Prep on Wednesday, and they should definitely be favored against Indy next Monday night. And if they win this game, that game against Pope Prep, and then that game against Indy next Monday, it doesn't matter what they do against MBA on Wednesday the 26th. I think they'll survive and still be in Tier 1. As the warm-up clock runs down to 0. The breakdown for Mount Juliet goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players from Mount Juliet. 3 from Green Hill and 4 from Lebanon. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 freshmen. 3 sophomores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 juniors, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors. Andrew Stratton in goal, or is it Alex Beck? Are they going with Beck instead of Stratton? They are. They're going to go. Centennial going to go with Alex Beck instead of Andrew Stratton. Corbin Vickery in goal for Mount Juliet for this first period. Centennial will carry the puck towards me. Mount Juliet will carry it away from me. As we're underway with this one, both teams back from their fall break. Wilson County Schools' fall break went from October 5th to last Friday, so they got a week and a half off, whereas Williamson County Schools only got last week off. Puck in the Centennial zone. Towards the inboards. They try and clear, held in by Blake Bristow, and he shoots it past the net. Now here comes Centennial. And a shot over the net from the left circle off the stick of Jack Finn. Puck was out at center, dumped back into the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods with it for the Golden Bears. Cross ice diagonal forward pass went off the boards. He was trying to get it to, I think, Jordan Antar, and now back the other way comes Centennial. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone and sent back down the wall, but Aiden connected, dropped his stick as it came down towards him. Puck cleared. Blake connected with it now for the Cougars. Awen Douglas sweeping it into the Mount Juliet zone from center. Puck behind the net. Cullen McDermott, one of the sophomores at Mount Juliet. Actually, he's homeschooled, but zone for Mount Juliet, getting the puck out of his zone. Puck cleared out. And now it's back in the Mount Juliet end. Carson Slocum ahead to McDermott at center. Off his stick, he was past the red line. So he deflects it back into the Centennial zone. Slocum now at the left point. Sending it back deep behind the net. Wes Ray in the right wing corner. giving the puck away. Wes Ray, senior forward at Green Hill. Puck out at center, but brought back into the Mount Juliet zone offside. Cooper Davis was well inside the zone. Was brought in from offside position by Aiden Gardner, Centennial freshman. And that's the first stoppage of play. After 2 minutes and 6 seconds, they're going to do the draw right in front of the Mount Juliet bench. And Mount Juliet end up icing the puck off the draw, which means it'll be to the right of Vickery. Now Juliet trying to get it out, held in by Cooper Davis. Then he gives it away to Blake Bristow. Bristow head to Bobby Camos. Actually, Camos couldn't get a stick on it. It's brought back into the Mount Juliet zone by Aiden Gardner and then taken away. And now Jordan Antar going to carry it out. Backhands it into the Centennial zone deep. Puck out on the near side. Centennial player hit as he carried the puck out of his zone. Dumped back deep into the Cougars' end. Oh, and I think Bobby Camos went crashing into the Centennial net and dislodged it. So that brings about a whistle with 10:56 left in the first and no goals on the board. Draw is to the right of Beck. One by Mount Juliet. Puck sent down the boards. Wes Ray with a shot that bounces past the net. Shooting from the left circle. Puck out in front, and a shot turned away by Beck. That's sent around out to the far side, held in and sent back down. Now Wes Ray shooting it past the net. From the left wing boards, cleared out by the Cougars. This could be an icing against Centennial. And it will be. 10:07 to go in the first, still zip-zip. By this point in the Nolensville Station Camp game, we'd had 2 goals. Tegan Bart scored 7 seconds in, and it took Seth Hagan just 56 seconds to get Nolensville on the board. Draw is to the left of Beck. And then, as we have 10 minutes left in the first, 17 seconds after this, Brandon Bello put Nolensville up 2-1. That game ended in a 3-3 tie. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone. Dylan Bruton pushed into the boards. Number 75 behind the net. Not sure who that is. Oh, it's Calvin Zacharias. Okay. He must not have a name on his sweater yet. Puck cleared out on the near side by Jackson Blevins, freshman at Lebanon. Here's a shot from Blake Bristow, stopped by Beck. McDermott getting bumped off the puck, Cullen McDermott. And now here goes Aiden Connect out to center, ahead to Calvin Zacharias, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. His shot blocked by the stick of Carson Slocum, who's going to carry the puck out. Slocum into the Centennial zone, drops it back for Jordan Antar, but he dropped it over the blue line, and Antar brings in an offside. 9:01 to go in the first, still no goals on the board. Draw on the dot across from the Centennial bench at center. Won by the Cougars. Awen Douglas sending it into the Mount Juliet zone, immediately cleared out. Puck comes around to the right point. Ryan Woods sends it back deep. Bobby Camos going around the back of the net. Trying to pass it out in front for Woods. It was blocked by a Centennial stick. And the Cougars clear. Puck rolling on its edge back into the Mount Juliet zone. This will be an icing against the Cougars. 8:19 left in the first and no goals on the board yet as Mount Juliet are dominating the puck possession here early towards the midway point of the first frame. Draw to the left of Beck, won by Mount Juliet, and then shot past the net by Anthony Giampalo, freshman at Mount Juliet High. Puck in the right wing corner. Centennial trying to get it around and get it out. Bobby Campbell's trying to keep it alive. Picked up by Centennial. Cleared out to center. Ryan Woods with it for the Golden Bears. Passing it up the near side of the ice to Bobby Camos, who sends it back into the Centennial zone. Immediately carried out by Alex Ezeminia, who brings it into the Mount Juliet zone, but not very far, and the Golden Bears able to clear. Puck dumped back into the Mount Juliet zone. Behind the net with it, Aiden Gardner puts it out in front. Actually put it through the crease. Deep in the crease. Hit dislodged a bit on the left-hand post. Official puts it back in place. There's Ryan Woods out on the far side. Carrying it to center as Centennial makes some changes. Woods falling over. He got tripped. Woods got tripped. And he's drawn the first penalty of the game as Centennial touch up inside their zone. A tripping call against the Cougars coming, so Mount Juliet will get their first power play of the game. Tied at 0, 7:02 to go. It's Aiden Connect in the box for the Cougars. 7:02 to go in the first. Draws to the right of Alex Beck. Won by Mount Juliet. Puck comes down the boards. Now it comes back up top. Carson Slocum, left point, putting it in front. It's tapped past the net. And the Cougars clear. Corbin Vickery out to play it. He'll leave it right near the goal line for Slocum. Stands behind his own net. Steps out to his right. Oh, whiffs on a pass. Still manages to get it ahead to Parker Triplett, who goes cross ice to Antar. Antar leaves it for Bristow, but Bristow couldn't keep a stick on it inside the Centennial zone. It's cleared out. Slocum. Wes Ray brings it back into the Centennial zone on the left wing side. Forced to go to the outside. Tries to put it in front from below the goal line. It's out on the right wing side. Kept alive. Now Wes Ray has it tapped off his stick. Back in the Mount Juliet zone with now 1 minute left in the power play for the Bears. Tyler Dubois passing it up the far side off the stick of Bristow back into the Centennial zone, but it's cleared out again. Puck behind the Mount Juliet net, picked up by Ryan Woods. Sends it around to his left, and Dubois. Dubois back across. Woods out at center. Sending it back into the Centennial zone, but again, it's cleared back into the Mount Juliet end by the Cougars. Woods going to pick it up, slap it to his left. Out on the near side boards this time, Wes Ray. Making his way back into the Centennial zone. Down the slot, his shot missed the net. High and wide. Trying to put the puck out in front, and an errant pass ends up going all the way back into the Mount Juliet zone with now just 10 seconds left in the man advantage. Ryan Woods picks it up. Passes to his right, Dubois. Across to Giampalo. Now Ryan Woods back in the Centennial zone. Power play time is up. A slap shot goes past the net to the right of Beck. Puck out on the left wing boards. Cullen McDermott trying to backhand it towards the net. Blocked by some Centennial skates before it ever got to Beck. Now here's Bobby Campos in the slot. His shot went past the net. Puck in the inboards. Squeezed out to the left wing corner, and the Cougars clear. Giampaolo knocked down at center. Aiden connects, right wing side. Sorry, this is Brendan Mitchell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Gets knocked into the boards. Ryan Woods going to end up icing the puck from his own zone. 4:16 to go in the first, and still no goals on the board. Traw's going to be, they're going to drop it. They're going to drop it outside the zone. Oh, there's a penalty against Centennial. Okay. Another penalty. So Mount Juliet back on the power play as soon as they were off it. Centennial killed that penalty, but then they got another up, and a steal. And a shot from Cooper Davis, blocked away by Corbin Vickery. Puck held in at the right point and sent back down. Cooper Davis battling with Jackson Blevins down low. Puck out on the far side. Comes up to the left point. Here's a slap shot. Turned away by Vickery. That shot coming from Nick Kloss. Out up high as Blake Bristow tries to get the puck out. He's going to actually drop back behind his own net. Bank it hard off the near side boards and out. But Centennial send it back in. Blevins gets his stick on it. And 1 minute left in the power play for Mount Juliet. Puck from center sent back into the Mount Juliet zone. Here is Bristow again, banking it off the boards. Wes Ray into the Centennial zone. Moving over to the left wing side. Puck poked away from him. Jordan Antar sending it around to the right wing corner. Comes up to the right point, held in by Tyler Dubois. Blake Bristow with a shot that went across the front of the net. Jordan Antar, left wing boards with a shot, gloved and held on to by Beck. Clock stops right at 30 seconds left in the power play for Mount Juliet. 2:46 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draws to the right of Beck. Bounces right to Bobby Campos, but it went past him when he was right in front of the net. Tyler Dubois at the left point with a shot that went off his Centennial stick. Cougars able to clear it out. And a stretch pass attempt to Aiden Connect was broken up by a Mount Juliet stick. Penalty time against Centennial is up. They're back at even strength. Puck held in at the right point, sent towards the net, but blocked by Tyler Dubois and cleared out by Mount Juliet. Here is Ryan Woods passing off to his left in Dubois. Ahead to Cullen McDermott, who deflects it out to center. But sent back in by Centennial. Sent back in by Brady Diamond, and we got a Diamond and Anthony Giampaolo tangled up just outside the zone, and they're both going to go. I didn't see what the penalty signals were, but it'll stay 5-on-5. 98 seconds to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draw is going to be on the dot across from the Mount Juliet bench at center. In front of the bleachers. One by Mount Juliet. Given away to Centennial, who get it into the Mount Juliet zone. Parker Triplett Head to Blake Bristow, who deflects it over to Jordan Antar. Puck out at center. Ooh, Awen Douglas. I think it was Awen. No, it was not Awen Douglas. She's out on the ice. That was not her taking the hit. That was Will Lassiter taking the hit. Puck trickling back into the Centennial zone. Blake Connect will chase it down. Stands behind his own net as we come to the final minute of the first. Will Lassiter gives the puck away to Blake Bristow. And dump back into the Centennial end. Will Lassiter navigating through skaters at center into the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side, taking a shot. It bounced off the stick of Carson Slocum and went over to the bleacher sideboard. Shot in the right point, stopped by Vickery. He's got it covered. That shot coming from Blake Butcher, Centennial sophomore defenseman. 33.1 seconds to go in the first, still zip. Draw is going to be to Vickery's left. Won by Centennial. Ooh, Brendan Mitchell almost let Wes Ray have it to clear. Mitchell trying to go out to the slot. Tapped off his stick to the near boards. Ryan Woods tried to clear it. Went off of Mitchell. Now, I'm sorry, not off of Mitchell. Went off another Centennial player. Went off of Adam Horner. And Mitchell had a chance in the right circle, but he was forced to go to the end boards. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods slaps it out. It's on goal. Wow. Alex Beck having to make a save. Ryan Woods with a slap shot from just above his own left circle, right on goal. Alex Beck having to make a save as it dipped down on him. And that's the end of the first. Started the game at 0. And we are still at 0 after 14 minutes. Father Ryan beat Summit Page 5-1, so Father Ryan are 2-0 to start the season, and Summit Page are now 1-3 and drifting further away from the top two in Tier 2. You got to think Summit Page are probably out of the race to finish in that top two and will finish and will stay in Tier 2 for the rest of the season. It's not a sure thing just yet. They're not mathematically out, but realistically, they're not in a good place. They pretty much need to win out. They need to win their last 3 games. So we get ready to start the second period. Alex Beck still in goal for Centennial. Corbin Vickery still in goal for Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet will carry the puck towards me for the second period. Centennial carry it away from me as we are underway with period 2. Puck in the Centennial zone. Cleared out, but Carson Slocum with it at center. Jordan Antar, now Blake Bristow, left wing side of the Centennial zone. Taking a shot in the left circle. Kicked away by Alex Beck with a right leg pad. Now the puck brought out in front, but swept away by Alex Ezeminia. Puck out at center. Aiden Gardner, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, tried to send it to the net, was chopped off his stick by Carson Slocum. Puck sent towards the net from the right point, stopped and covered up by Corbin Vickery. And that's our first whistle after just 40 seconds of the second. Draw to the left. Vickery. They drop the puck and it ends up going into the Centennial bench. Draw to the left of Vickery. Puck was in the Centennial zone for about a millisecond and immediately swept out by Owen Boyer. Brady Diamond inside his own zone now, clearing it out. Hit the skates of Carson Slugum at center, but it was played with a high stick by Blake Bristow, so that's why we have the whistle. 12:36 to go in the second, and still no goals on the board. Draw is going to be to the right of Vickery. It's in the Centennial zone, cleared out by Brady Diamond. It's in the Centennial zone, Diamond with it. Passing ahead to Owen Boyer. It's now in the Mount Juliet end. Cooper Davis behind the net. Try to put it out in front. From the end boards. Puck comes out to the left point, Boyer. Comes out in front, shot wide. Boyer tapping his stick in the slot, wanting the puck to come his way. It comes up to Brady Diamond to the right point. His shot deflected past the net. And it's going to be carried to center by Ryan Woods. Woods through center into the Centennial zone. Got space. Down the slot. A shot turned away by Beck. And the rebound poked away from Wes Ray by either Diamond or Boyer. But a big save from Alex Beck and what may have been the best chance of the game for either team to date. Here's a shot from Calvin Zacharias in the Mount Juliet zone that's blocked. And now the puck sent past the net by Mount Juliet from their own zone, so icing. 11:01 to go in the second, and the game tied at zip. Puck comes up to the right point. Cooper Davis' shot missed the net. Puck out at center. Jack Finn with it for Centennial. Banks it off the near boards. Sent back the other way by Mount Juliet. It's back in the Centennial zone, Blake Butcher. And Butcher banks it off the near boards back into the Mount Juliet end for an icing. Something a little unusual here on Rink B at Centennial, or on either rink period, there's some advertising behind the net on the other side. I'm not sure if there's one here on the inboards in front of me, but the Predators, of course, they practice here. Their training camp's been sponsored by Vanderbilt Health, so there's Vanderbilt Health advertising on the net, on the boards behind the net that Corbin Vickery's defending for this period. Oh, Centennial could have gotten the puck out of their zone. We get a whistle, though. That's immediately killed off by Bobby Camos being whistled for hooking. So Mount Juliet will have a man in the box for the first time. 10 minutes left in the second. Whoops. There's not 1 minute left, those of you looking at the game tracker. There are 10 minutes left in the second. Jordan. Correction. Draw was to the right of Vickery. It's a Centennial in the power play for the first time in the game, tied at 0. We'll see if they can make something of it. They haven't had many chances Vickery hasn't had to turn away a lot of shots. Neither has Alex Beck. Both goaltenders have not had to do a lot of work so far. As we're near the midway point of the game, and there's a steal by Mount Juliet. Blake Bristow with a steal. Carries it into the Centennial zone on the right wing side. Stops. Sends it towards the net from the right half wall. Turned away by Beck. Thought he was waiting on Jordan Antar. He decided to send it to the net to see if Antar could get a rebound. Puck cleared out, but here's Bristow firing it back into the Centennial zone off the boards. Alex Izamini, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Knocked over by Wes Ray. And the puck fired past the net. Under a minute left in the power play for the Cougars. Mount Juliet clear the puck. Jack Finn tried to clear one off the stick of Parker Triplett up in the, actually no, Anthony Giampaolo and up in the air. Aiden Gardner passing the puck ahead to a man at center. It's Owen Boyer, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Boyer's shot blocked. Puck at the inboards, under 30 seconds left in the power play for Mount Juliet, for Centennial, as Mount Juliet get the puck out of their zone. Beck's going to leave it for Brady Diamond. Diamond passing up the near side, off the stick of Brendan Mitchell. Mitchell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. They try and clear, held in at the right point by Diamond. Penalty time against Mount Juliet up. They're back at even strength. Boyer with a shot. Stopped and held on to by Vickery at his right-hand post. 7:55 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board. Draw is going to be to the right of Vickery. Oh, puck put out in front, and a Centennial player sent it across the front of the Mount Juliet net. Puck comes out to the blue line. Oh, Brady Diamond whiffing on a shot attempt, and Jordan Antar carries it to center. Maneuvers around a defender. He's in the Centennial zone, making his way to the net. He's in front. He scores! Banks it off the inside of Alex Beck's left leg into the back of the net. Jordan Antar is broken. The goalless tie to put Mount Juliet up 1-0 with 7:24 to go in the second. Puck ends up in the Mount Juliet zone, but cleared into the netting above the glass by Parker Triplett. So Jordan Antar, freshman at Mount Juliet with his fourth goal of the season. He had a hat trick against Franklin in the season opener 2 weeks ago tonight. Mount Juliet trying to clear the puck out, held in at the right point and shot past the net by Cooper Davis. Like Bristow at center now for Mount Juliet. Into the Centennial zone. Could not get around Blake Butcher, or else he was going down the slot to the net. Will Lassiter ices the puck from just behind the red line at center. 6:41 to go in the second. 1-0 Mount Juliet. Alex Beck Draw to his left, one by Mount Juliet. Anthony Giampalo shoots it right into Awen Douglas. Puck carried out to center by Dylan Bruton, but given away to the Bears. And now a shot in the left wing side, stopped by Vickery, and he covers up. With Awen Douglas coming down the slot, it was Blake Connect who had the initial shot. Draw to the right of Vickery. One by Mount Juliet. Tyler Dubois getting it over to the far side. And it's carried out to center by Wes Ray. Goes across to Giampalo, left wing side of the Centennial zone. Giampalo with a shot. Gloved and held onto by Beck, as Ray was right there waiting for a rebound. Draw to the right of Beck. One by Mount Juliet. Anthony Giampalo shot. Oh! It went off a Centennial stick and over Alex Beck into the back of the net. I think it went off Dylan Bruton's stick blade. Hopped up into the air and rolled up and over Beck into the back of the net. And Mount Juliet have a 2-0 lead with 6:03 to go in the second. What a heartbreaker that is for Centennial. Puck coming to the Mount Juliet net off the draw, and Corbin Vickery has to cover. Draw was to the left of Vickery. Puck out at center. Tracked down by Nick Kloss. He's inside his own zone now, ahead for Jack Finn, but it went underneath Finn's stick blade. Here's Ryan Woods back into the Centennial zone, right circle. Shot went over the net. Puck held into the left wing side. Bobby Camos up. Calvin Zacharias tried to clear, held in. Carson Slocum left point, shot it past the net. Clearing attempt, held in at the right point, and Giampalo shot it off of Alex Izaminia. Now the puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Calvin Zacharias getting knocked down. And here's Wes Ray, left wing side of the Centennial zone. Pushed to the inboards by Nick Kloss. Bobby Camos getting the puck over to the right wing corner. Puck squeaks out in front. Here's Nick Kloss. Ahead to Calvin Zacharias. Went past Zacharias back into the Mount Juliet zone. Tracked down by Jackson Blevins. Fires it around to the near board or far side boards. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. Trickling back into the Centennial zone. Tracked down by Owen Boyer. Boyer over to Brady Diamond, who looked like he was going to fall over inside his own zone. He's having trouble trying to get it out. He does. Oh, and then one Centennial player taking a hit from two Mount Juliet players at the same time. Aiden Connect, left wing side of the Mount Juliet's on a shot. Score! Aiden Connect fires the puck into the left-hand side of the net to put Centennial on the board and make it 2-1. As Carson Slocum said something to Connect after the goal, and he'll be sent to the box. It's 2-1 Mount Juliet with 4:12 to go in the second. Wonder if it's an unsportsmanlike. Or is it a 10-minute misconduct? They didn't put anything on the board. Are Mount Juliet shorthanded? Yes, they are. So Centennial on the power play, down 2-1 with 4:12 to go in the second. Chance to tie the game up here. And slap shot by a Mount Juliet player from his own end to fire it back into the Centennial zone. Puck out at center. Owen Boyer, left wing side of the Mount Juliet end. Trying to get it towards the front of the net. It's behind the net. Comes over to the left circle, and the net got dislodged with all those players standing around it. 91 seconds left in the power play. 3:43 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Mount Juliet. Draws to Vickery's right. One by Centennial, slap shot blocked. Then another slap shot missed the net. Both those from Owen Boyer, the puck out in front. Oh! And it looked like it just went over the net. Mount Juliet tried to clear it, was held into the blue line. Woods tried to clear, held in at the left point by Owen Boyer. And it is cleared out by Wes Ray. With a minute left in the power play for the Cougars. Brady Diamond passing up the near side to Boyer. Pass ahead intercepted by Tyler Dubois, trying to get it out of his zone. Now it comes down low, and it's cleared out. It's going to be on goal. Alex Beck having to make another save from distance. He made one at the very end of the first. Oh, Jordan Antar with a steal. Inside the Centennial zone, shot, score! Oh, Brady Diamond had the puck taken away by Antar at the right half wall, and Antar carries it to the slot and fires it into the left-hand side of the net. His second goal of the game, a shorthanded goal for Mount Juliet, and they go up 3-1 with 2:48 to go in the second. Draw one by Centennial. Will Lassiter, left wing side, a shot missed the net. Now the puck squeaks out in front, and here's Antar out at center. There's still some time left in the power play for Centennial, but that short-handed goals put him back down by 2. Will Lassiter, a shot blocked. Puck at the inboards, 10 seconds left in the power play for the Cougars. Penalty time against Mount Juliet is up. They're back at even strength. Clearing attempt held in at the right point by Blake Butcher, but he couldn't handle it. And if Wes Ray had seen the puck at center, he might have been taken off on a breakaway with it. He lost it when it popped up in the air. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. Pass across. Oh, good save by Vickery. Either that or it was shot past the net by Braden Marks. Puck iced by Mount Juliet. Minute 43 left in the second, and they're up 3-1. Draw to the left of Vickery. One by Centennial, carried to the front of the net, but taken away by Mount Juliet. And Blake Bristow almost left it behind him at center. He does have the puck now, left wing side of the Centennial zone. Had it poked away by Alex Izaminia. Puck held in at the left point. Anthony Giampalo knocked down by Nick Kloss. Passed ahead to Dylan Bruton and hit his skate. We're going to have another penalty against Mount Juliet with some hitting inside the Centennial zone, drawing an infraction. And roughing will be the call. And it's against Blake Bristow. So Centennial will return to the power play down 3-1 with 73 seconds to go in the second. Draw is to the left of Vickery. One by Centennial. They tried to send it to the net, but it's given away and cleared out by Mount Juliet. Bobby Campos at center, had the puck move ahead of him too far. Now here's Anthony Giampalo getting it back into the Centennial zone on the left wing side. Taking a shot, gloved and held on to by Alex Beck as we have entered the final minute of the second. 55.2 seconds to be exact. Draw is going to be to Beck's right. And they dropped the puck and a shot stopped by Beck, but I don't think the official liked the way they were lined up, so it's not going to count. Wes Ray trying to tap it towards the net. Alex Ezeminio with it for Centennial, trying to clear it out. It's carried to center by Aiden Connect, who has the lone Centennial goal. Connect. Pass to the slot. A shot. Alex Ezeminio stopped by Vickery. He's got it covered. With 39.9 seconds to go in the second. Left in the power play, 87 seconds. For those of you looking on the game tracker, I know I said 39.9 and put up 40, but the game tracker clock won't do decimals. Decimals. Tried it before. Centennial with a puck, 30 seconds left of the period. Puck bouncing out to the blue line. Slap shot from Nick Kloss. Missed the net. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. On goal, although not as hard as the last two tries have been. Alex Beck having to make another stop. Under a minute left of the power play for Centennial. As the puck is back in their zone and time is going to run out here on the second period. 47 seconds of power play time will carry over to the third. Jordan Antar breaking the goalless deadlock with a mini breakaway goal. Then Anthony Giampaolo scoring a little odd goal that went off the stick of Dylan Bruton up in the air and then rolled back up on Alex Beck and into the net. Then Aiden Connect scored to put Centennial on the board. But then Jordan Antar with a shorthanded goal, his second of the game, to give Mount Juliet a 3-1 lead, and that is where we stand at the end of two. Again, 47 seconds of power play time carrying over to this third period for Centennial. Corbin Vickery still in goal for Mount Juliet. Alex Beck still in goal for the Cougars. This third period, Centennial will carry the puck towards me. Mount Juliet will carry it away from me. Mount Juliet win the draw to start the third. Carson Slocum fumbling the puck a bit. Colin McDermott with it at center for Mount Juliet. Over to Jackson Blevins, who fires it deep into the Centennial zone. 30 seconds left in the penalty now against the Bears. Puck out at center. Now brought into the Mount Juliet zone and a shot blocked. Another shot stopped by Vickery. Both those shots coming from Brady Diamond. Puck out at the blue line. Owen Boyer over to the left circle. Diamond holding a shot off the glove of Vickery. Another shot stopped by Vickery, and he covers up the rebound. That try from Will Lassiter. 2 seconds left in the power play. 13-14 to go. Still 3-1 Mount Juliet. Draw to Vickery's right. Won by Centennial, but given away to Mount Juliet. Penalty time against the Bears is up. They're back at even strength. Puck sent back into the Centennial zone. Icing waved off, although it never got past the goal line. Now a steal by Anthony Giampaolo as one of the Mount Juliet goals. Wes Ray with a steal inside the Centennial zone, but it's given away again to the Cougars. Brought back into the Mount Juliet end. Sent to the front of the net, broken up by Ryan Woods. They were trying to get it to Aiden Connect. Puck out at center, Wes Ray controlling. Brings it into the Centennial zone on the left wing side, gets knocked down. Puck sliding through center back into the Mount Juliet zone. Bears get it out. Battle for it at center. On the bleacher side of the ice. Brought back into the Mount Juliet zone. Flipped to the front of the net by Aiden Connect. Knocked away by Ryan Woods. Carried to the slot by Blake Connect. Knocked off his stick. It's out in front. Oh, and Aiden Connect with a shot that would have missed the net, but Vickery kicked it away with his right leg pad just to be safe. Put out the toe. Here's Alex Zaminio's shot deflected with the stick of Tyler Dubois, who's going to end up icing the puck. 11:34 to go. Mount Juliet up 3-1. Coming up next, the final game in our triple header tonight. Pope Prep taking on NBA. Pregame's supposed to start at 7:50. Hopefully we'll start on time. This one did not start on time because of a delay late in the third of Nolensville Station Camp to put a pane of glass back in place. Draw to the left of Vickery. Looks like it was won by Centennial. Here's Cooper Davis trying to put it in front, and they score! It's Dylan Bruton. Dylan Bruton able to slide it under Vickery and over the goal line into the back of the net to get Centennial back within one with 11:24 to go. It's 3-2 Mount Juliet. Puck in the Centennial zone off the draw. Comes out in front. Cougars trying to clear. Still in the zone. And a turnover. Blake Bristow with a steal and a shot. Score! A clearing attempt went off the stick of Jordan Antar. Came to Bristow. He carried it to the center point and fires it into the roof of the net to re-extend Mount Juliet's lead to 4-2 with 10:52 to go. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone, Dubois. Ahead to Cullen McDermott at center. McDermott had it slapped off his stick. Now Will Lassiter, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Shot missed the net. Puck in the Centennial end. Cougars clearing it out. And now a turnover inside the Centennial zone again. Wes Ray, a shot. I think Beck may have got a piece of it. Held in right point. Ryan Woods sent towards the net, was deflected past the net. And we get a whistle. I think the net got dislodged. Yeah. $9:52 to go. 4-2 Mount Juliet leading. Draws to the left of Beck. Puck put out in front, and they score! Is that Antar? If it is, it's a hat trick. Puck came to him with the left-hand side of the net wide open. No, he's not out there. It may have been Wes Ray. Either way, it's 5-2 Mount Juliet with 9:25 to go. I have to check the score sheet at the end of this one because I'm not sure who got that fifth goal. Turnover inside the Mount Juliet zone. A shot from Brendan Mitchell misses the net to the right of Mount Juliet. So since Centennial scored to make it 3-2, Mount Juliet now scored 2 unanswered. Here's Jordan Antar back in the Centennial zone. Puck poked off his stick. Brought out to center by Alex Azaminia, but he gives it away, and it's sent back into the Centennial zone by Andrew Huffine, freshman at Mount Juliet. Here's Blake Bristow from the left wing boards. A shot turned away. Now here comes Centennial through center. Brendan Mitchell back into the Mount Juliet zone. He's at the right point. Trying to send the puck to the front of the net. Swept away by Jackson Blevins. Comes right back to Mitchell. Now moving down the right wing. His shot blocked by Slocum. Blake Bristow flips it ahead and out. Brady Diamond. Across to Jack Finn. Finn right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to catch him in a change. His shot stopped and covered up by Vickery. 8:02 to go. Mount Juliet up 5-2. Cooper Davis sending the puck deep into the Mount Juliet end. That's out on the far wall now, and it comes up to Anthony Giampaolo. That's back in the Centennial zone. And here's Giampaolo moving to there. The shot stopped. Big rebound cleared away from the net. Now a turnover at center. Tyler Dubois. That's back in the Centennial zone. Puck cleared out by Centennial, back into the Mount Juliet zone, picked up by Ryan Woods. Clearing attempt went off the stick of Cooper Davis up into the air. Wes Ray with it. Ray into the Centennial zone, shoots it past the net. Here come the Cougars again. Aiden Connect sending it around to the far side. Puck held in at the right point. Blake Butcher, his shot blocked and carried out by Ryan Woods. Woods into the Centennial zone. Puck poked away from him. He gets back to it at the left wing corner. Passes off Bobby Campbell. His shot deflected. Still came on goal. Becking to make a save. And a one-timer from Antar was blocked from the blue line. And Antar keeps the puck in, and a clearing attempt sends it back down low. Here's Antar with another shot, blocked by another Centennial player. Comes out to the blue line. Parker Triplett holds it in. His shot blocked. Here's Jordan Antar from the left wing boards. Put out in front and deflected past the net by Bobby Camos. Under 6 minutes left. It's 5-2 Mount Juliet. Here come the Cougars. Blake Connect. Oh, falls over on the right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, trying to go to the slot. Puck back in the Centennial zone. Passed up the boards. Now it's back in the Mount Juliet end. Parker Triplett ahead to Carson Slocum. Slocum through center. Back into the Centennial zone. His shot past the net. Puck back at center. Here's Triplett again. Back in his own zone. Here's Triplett at center. Sending it back into the Centennial zone. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end of the left wing side. Alex Azaminia over to the right wing side, and Dylan Bruton, who tried to drop it back, but it's stolen away by Tyler Dubois, who's bringing it through center. Dubois on a breakaway to the Centennial net. A shot, score! That might have sealed it. Tyler Dubois fires it into the right-hand side of the net to give Mount Juliet a 6-2 lead with 4:33 to go. Here's Owen Boyer. Into the Mount Juliet zone deep. Put the puck out in front. Jordan Antar with the interception. That's back in the Mount Juliet end. Ryan Woods. Ahead to Blake Bristow, who deflects it back into the Centennial zone for an icing. Exactly 4 minutes to go, and Mount Juliet up 6-2. So Centennial, if they don't come back, are going to have a record of 3 losses and 1 draw. Puck put out in front, Calvin Zacharias. Kept away from his stick by Carson Slocum. Puck back in the Centennial zone. Carson Slocum inside his own zone. Ahead to Cullen McDermott. Nope, taken back by Centennial. Puck back deep in the Mount Juliet end. Here's Awen Douglas in the slot. Shot stopped by Vickery. He's got it covered. Would not let Calvin Zacharias have a rebound try. 3:18 to go, 6-2 Mount Juliet. Draw to the right of Vickery. Puck out at center. Wes Ray with it. Right wing side of the Centennial zone. A shot. Stop. And Bobby Campbell couldn't get to the rebound. Here is Brendan Mitchell. Across to, Cooper Davis, who couldn't keep it in his skates. Chopped away from him by Ryan Woods. Woods. Head to McDermott, off his stick and out to center. That's not McDermott, that's Andrew Huffing. It's back in the Mount Juliet zone, and a shot from Jack Finn misses the net. Now Finn out in front, passes over left circle. Cooper Davis, a shot. Stopped by Vickery, and he's got it covered with 2:21 to go, and Mount Juliet up 6-2. Draw was to the right of Vickery. Mount Juliet win the draw. Here's Carson Slocum. Sending it around the boards to the near side. Cleared out by Giampaolo. Now Alexis Minia. Dumbing it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Parker Triplett able to clear. Nick Kloss let the puck go past him on the left wing, boards it out. Sent back into the Mount Juliet end. Wes Ray almost carried it out. Now it is cleared out by Giampaolo. Puck carried to the slot, a shot, score! Brendan Mitchell fires the puck into the roof of the net to cut Mount Juliet's lead to 6-3 with 82 seconds to go. Draw one by Centennial, draw one by Mount Juliet. A shot from Jordan Antar stopped and covered up by Beck. 76 seconds left. Draw is to the left of Beck. One by Mount Juliet. Slap shot from Tyler Dubois, blocked. Puck out in front, Antar, a shot. He scores, and he's got his hat trick. Jordan Antar from the right circle fires the puck into the back of the net to make it 7-3 Mount Juliet with 66 seconds to go and to give himself a hat trick on the night. His second, so now he has 2 hat tricks from his first 2 GNASH games. Draw one by Mount Juliet again. Here's Antar falling over in the Centennial slot last minute of the game. And we get a whistle, a tripping call against, is it a Yes. Jordan Antar hops right into the box. He's called for tripping with 40.1 seconds left. So Centennial, unless they score or get a penalty, will finish this game on the power play. Draw is going to be to the right of Vickery. One by Mount Juliet. Parker Triplett clears it. Hit off of Owen Boyer and just went out. And now Blake Bristow into the Centennial zone, cutting to the front of the net. Stopped by Alex Beck. Under 30 seconds to go. Puck sent back into the Mount Juliet end. Carson Slocum with it. Banks it off the near glass and out. It's back in the Centennial zone with 10 seconds to go. Cougars trying to fire to the other ring. Stolen away. A shot, score. Anthony Giampaolo stole the clearing attempt and fires it into the back of the net. A shorthanded goal. It's 8-3 Mount Juliet with 4.4 seconds to go, and they're going to get their first win of the season. And Centennial, oh boy. Second goal of the game for Giampaolo. And they drop the puck. And a little tussle for it, but that's it. And why did the clock pause? Now they run it down to 0. And Mount Juliet collect their first win of the season, beating Centennial 8-3. No goals at the end of one. Then Mount Juliet went up 2-0. Centennial got back within 1. Mount Juliet went up 3-1. It was 3-1 after 2. Centennial got within 1 early in the third, but then Mount Juliet scored 3 unanswered to go up 6-2. Centennial got a third, but then Mount Juliet scored 2 more, and they win 8-3. And they have 1 win and 1 draw after 2 games. Centennial, 3 losses and a draw, and I'm going to go look at the score sheet. All right, so the goals for Centennial: Aiden Connect, Dylan Bruton, and Brendan Mitchell. For Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon, a hat trick for Jordan Antar. Two goals for Anthony Giampaolo. And the other three came from Cullen McDermott, Tyler Dubois, and Blake Bristow. As Mount Juliet win 8-3 and go to 1 win and 1 draw. And Centennial now have three losses and a draw. And they're playing their last 3 games in this first phase over this next week and a half. They got Pope Prep on Wednesday night. That may not be an easy game. They should be heavily favored against Independence next Monday night. But they got to finish with NBA a week from Wednesday night. Boy, oh boy, I just Seth Lake told me last year to keep your expectations for this year's team low. Oh boy. All right, so the final score in this one, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 8, Centennial 3. We've got one more game left in our triple header. Coming right up next, it is Pope Prep CPA GCA taking on MBA. Again, the final score here, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 8, Centennial 3, Pope Prep CPA GCA and MBA coming up in just a few minutes.